What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my first video on this channel. I'm looking a little bit rough because I'm a little sick, but today we're going to be reviewing my favorite Zelda game, or one of my favorites, and one of my least favorite Zelda games so far. I haven't played all of them, but I want to go ahead and review the ones I have played, and these two are very, I think, spectrum-wise, very different, but also fairly similar. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe, share with your friends, and let's go ahead and get the backstory of Skyward Sword real quick.
Thanks, Noah. My name's Inksystem, or as Noah calls me, Richie. Before we get into the history of these two wonderful games, I would like to tell you who I am, because you probably don't know who I am. I make videos on art, video games, manga, anime, all that kind of stuff, so if you like that stuff, go subscribe if you want to. Noah put the link in the description. I would also like to thank Noah for letting me onto his channel and just researching the history of these two games for him. So I guess let's go ahead and get into it. So development of Skyward Sword started in 2006, right after the completion of Twilight Princess. 3 years later, at E3 of 2009, it was shown off for the first time and was announced for a 2010 release, but was delayed to 2011 for further polish and expansion to the game. The overall gameplay of Skyward Sword was meant to streamline the experience for newer players to the Zelda franchise. Skyward Sword was later re-released on the Nintendo Wii U eShop for the 30th anniversary, and was eventually remastered for the Nintendo Switch in 2021. So I really didn't have much to research on Skyward Sword, just because I suppose it hasn't been out for that long. Well, it's been out for 10 years, but not as long as Lynx Awakening, which is the next game we'll be talking about.
Alright, so Skyward Sword. Let me just begin with my specific good things I liked about the game and the things that I just did not really grasp, I suppose. Doesn't mean the game is bad necessarily, but it's just not something that I prefer, I suppose. And I think a lot of the Zelda fanboys and a lot of the people who play Zelda, I think they're going to agree with me on Skyward Sword being one of their least favorites. But I mean, if you disagree, go ahead and let me know your opinion down in the comment section, because of course this is my opinion. So let's get right into it. So the good things about this game is honestly the story. I love the lore. I love the story of the building of the Master Sword. I loved how we finally got to learn about how the Master Sword became the Master Sword. I love the story of Zelda and Link's eternal reincarnation through why basically we get Link and Zelda over and over and over and over again. I love the little side quests that's in the game, like helping the villagers. It's one of the few games actually, and Link's Awakening too, that I've actually wanted to do side quests and actually really enjoyed it. I didn't really want to in Breath of the Wild, interestingly, which is also one of my favorite Zelda games, but for whatever reason, I just felt like it was more enjoyable to do it in this game. Maybe because you get the little stars. I don't remember what they're called on the top of my head, but I'm sure I'll put it up on the screen right now. But to go help people and get rewards for it. I think that's kind of why I enjoyed it, instead of just getting like a bunch of rupees like it was in Breath of the Wild. I also loved about this game was the game design, the way everything looked, the art style. A lot of people complained about the art style in Skyward Sword, which was it did look a little raunchy, I suppose. Like, maybe raunchy isn't quite the word, but it did look a little weird. But I actually kind of enjoyed it. I didn't think it was terrible. I don't think it was also the worst, but for its time, I thought it was okay. So, like, there's a few parts in the game. There's really not that much, like, quest parts that stood out and that I really enjoyed doing. But Lanayru Desert's pirate ship parts, where you navigate through the pirate ship, was a whole lot of fun. The boss fight in Lanayru Desert also was a lot of fun on top of the pirate ship. That was actually really enjoyable. The pirate ship, the one with the pirate, the skeleton pirate, where you have to stab him just to like to move him or whatever. That one was a little tedious and a little annoying, but it wasn't nothing that was game breaking. So yeah, those were the good for Skyward Sword. Let's go ahead and get into the bad. Alright, I just want to preface this real quick. What I'm about to say can be said about basically any Zelda game that's older, because it's not so straightforward. I'm an idiot. I want to preface that. I'm not the smartest individual. So, a lot of the things that, like, I didn't like about this was, and it's actually something I brought up in Link's Awakening too, I didn't like how I didn't know what I was doing at some certain parts. But I feel like overall, I feel like that wasn't as bad as an issue as what it was in Link's Awakening. But I didn't really, I don't know, there was just some parts about the game that, like, I was wondering, like, okay, what do I do? But most of it was kind of straightforward, I would say. I really, really did not like how, like, we had 3 places and you had to go to the same 3 places 4 times. It was overly used, I feel like. Yeah, like, when you go to do the flames for your sword, yeah, you got a little extra areas for the sword. And then, like, later on, I think Lynx Desert got expanded. I don't really remember, but, yeah, you know, you get, like, more areas on top of the area that you go to per time you have to go over there, it seems like, but it just felt like the same reused hash stuff. I don't know, it just got very, very, very tedious as I started playing. I really started the game like, oh wow, this is really cool, this is really fun. As I started playing it, it become more and more and more annoying to have to go back and do this and go do this and like do the same thing over and over again in the same 3 areas. It was just, I don't know, I guess it's just not for me. I mean, a lot of it can be said about like Ocarina, because I know Ocarina you do come back to some of the areas again, but I don't know, I just feel like they could have reused the same area and add like more of a different atmosphere, which, I mean, with another one of my complaints later, they did that, but with certain game mechanics, it ruins the different atmosphere. I'll get into that here in a second. I hated the stone parts where you had to sometimes bring the time stones in Lynx Desert. I hated having to carry the time stones, like the little balls you had to take around that was like in the past. That seemed a little bit annoying in a 3D world, because a lot of times I didn't know there was stuff behind me, or like, I don't know, I'm an idiot, so like some of the puzzles were not that hard. It was just way more annoying. Whenever you have to go get the dragon, when you have to follow the rail cart, that was especially annoying with how the 3D system works in Skyward Sword. It was just, I don't know, it was just so annoying, I guess, and like how stamina is in that game and how trash it is. It was just, I don't know, sometimes it was just very annoying. And the fact that I had to restart the whole entire thing if I were to fully die was just overly annoying. A lot of the game isn't bad. I would just subject as just very, very annoying. Alright, so the part I was talking about earlier, where a new atmosphere was made, but I did not like it because the mechanics of the game was trash in it, was the area where Faron Woods was flooded, where you had to go get the song parts, the song notes. That was, oh my god, that was tedious and so annoying, having to swim. Swimming in this game is ass. I'm sorry, it is just ass. Having to go under this water and just like, I don't know, I can't even explain it. It's like some of like the 3D, like whenever you're trying to look areas, and it's just hard to, because like the camera system's so messed up in this game, and then it just felt like it was impossible to swim in this game, like go underwater. It just felt like, I don't know, felt like it was the hardest thing you could possibly do in the whole entire game. That part annoyed me to no end, having to get like, what, 20 different song parts. That had to have been the worst part of the whole song quest to me, the song of the hero. That was probably the most annoying part above all, in my opinion. But, you know, that's part of life. I'll take the good with the bad. You know, they added the atmosphere, they changed the area completely. They made the same area completely different, which I will give them props for. That was a very good, innovative idea to change the whole new area to make it something that's very different. But, man, I wish the mechanics in the game was just a little bit different so that I wasn't just hating my life as I did it. Alright, so, like, the Silent Realm was very cool. I loved my first time doing it. But the more and more I did it, it just became more overused and more just like tedious, I suppose. It was okay, don't get me wrong, I understand the lore and why you had to do it, but it was just very tedious at times and a little bit annoying, but I'll take it, you know. That wasn't bad. You know, there are certain things about other games that I don't like Breath of the Wild, like motion controls for existence in that game is very, just so dumb. But, you know, that's fine. I'll take the Silent Realm. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's something I can complain about because that's all I do is complain. Boss fights were pretty easy in this game, which is actually kind of a similar tone for Lynx Awakening. Actually, that's going to be one of my bad things about Lynx Awakening. Boss fights were baby game. Was just so baby in this game. Like, I had geared up. I had, like, everything I possibly needed to go against Demise. And when I faced Demise, it was like, it was so easy. Like, Breath of the Wild is the same thing though. When you go to face Ganon, it was like, so when I first played Breath of the Wild, I had trouble facing Lionels, for example. But when I went to Ganon, it was like nothing, you know? So I feel like boss fights should be something a little bit more innovative in Zelda going forward, I suppose. I think that like boss fights should be a little bit more difficult. I know there are some in the Zelda series that are pretty hard, and I understand that. But I would just wish there would have been some, or even Demise, for example, would have been harder in this game. The fast travel, this is going to be the biggest rant I have about this game. The fast travel is complete dog shit in this game. I hate it, and I tell you, this is the biggest thing that annoyed me. I had like, what, 60 hours? I don't know how many hours I have in this game, but I had an incredible amount of, not incredible, but I had a decent amount of hours into this game, and I guarantee you at least a couple of hours of this was just me fast traveling, going all the way into the sky, having to drop on my little bird bitch, fly all the way over to fucking Elden Volcano or where the fuck I needed to go, drop down, figure out, oh shit, I didn't need to be here, fly all the way up, get on bird bitch, go all the way back to Faron Woods. It was just, oh my god, it was just tedious. It was so annoying. It was so dumb. I just wish it had such a smoother fast traveling system. It was very cool the first time I did it. After that, it was just like, fuck, I have to go all the way over here again. I have to fly all the way into the fucking cloud, come all the way back out. Man, it was just so annoying. I do not hate Skyward Sword. It is not something I genuinely hate. Is it something I'll play again? I'm not sure. Maybe if I do it for another video, but I don't think I'll ever play Skyward Sword again unless I really have to. It's not terrible, just some of the game is just annoying the shit out of me. I feel like I spent the whole game just getting mad about dumb deaths due to camera angles or dumb steps of the game story, or just being confused. If you're a Zelda fan, I will say play it. Just for the story. But again, I probably will not play this ever again. Alright, now that you've heard my favorite things about Skyward Sword and things I really disliked and hated about that game, let's go ahead and go over back to Richie and find out the history of Link's Awakening.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening was released on Nintendo's massive handheld system, the Game Boy, and was originally a port of Link to the Past, but eventually became its own original title under the direction of Takashi Tezuka. Most of the development team that worked on Link to the Past ended up working on. Also, Tezuka really wanted the game to resemble the TV show Twin Peaks, which I've never seen. After a year and a half of development, Link's Awakening released to critical and commercial success, but a lot of complaints really focused on the monochrome graphics of the Game Boy, which ended up being resolved once Nintendo released The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, which is an updated port with updated graphics and an exclusive colored dungeon. But that's not the only re-release of Link's Awakening, as it was remade and put on the Nintendo Switch in 2019. One more thing real quick, I would like to thank Noah again for letting me be on his video and putting up with my procrastination. Hopefully he puts my channel link in the description, and I guess if you come over there, I'll see you again.
Alright, let's get into Link's Awakening. I want to start Link's Awakening with this preface. I loved this game. The simplicity of it, the cartoon style of it, the brand, like, just the way the game is designed was awesome. It has such a sense of bright colors and awesome and like, ooh, adventure, and wow, this game is bright and it's happy. I loved that game so much. I've actually recently replayed it because of how much I love that game. And it's one of the few Zelda games that I've actually wanted to 100% complete. It's just like Breath of the Wild, where I actually went out of my way to get all the shrines in Breath of the Wild. I wouldn't say I wanted to 100% complete because fuck the Koroks, but it's just one of those games where I actually genuinely enjoyed playing, and I loved being able to do extra stuff in that game because it adds more of a sense of, wow, I actually completed this game that I like playing. The story, the quests, all of it. It's just a fun game to play with. The quest, while being repetitive at times, is really enjoyable. It's just a goofy game. That's the best way I can describe is goofy. It's a goofy game at certain points. Like, you talk to like some of the kids in the game, they will say something just arbitrary or something weird, and they'll be like, oh, I don't know, I'm just a kid. Like, it's It's just so funny to me. I love the fact that Ocarina is in the game. One of my favorite things, the best, like I can put it on my top tier list of this game, is the music. The music in this game is just something different to me. Like, I would put it above Breath of the Wild at certain points. Because, oh man, it was just like so beautiful. Just the main theme, Marin's song, the Windfish's ballad, all of it is just so beautiful. There is nothing that I've come close to in any video game that I've played so far that has come even close to being able to take my heart as much as this video game has, because it's just so beautiful. I love being able to fast travel. It's very easier. The fast travel in this game is so much easier, and at times it is annoying at the beginning of the game, but once you get the song from the I think Mambo's song, maybe? I think it's Mambo's song, but once you get his song, you can play the ocarina and you can teleport to areas that you've been to before, which I like that. But it's also a little bit annoying where, you know, it's not too big of a map, but it still at times can be a little annoying. Let's say if I'm all the way in the ancient ruins and I need to go all the way to the mountain, it can be annoying because there's not a whole lot of fast travel areas in certain parts of the map. It's fine. It works a lot better, like 20 times better than Skyward Sword, so you know, that's fine. At least it's not like Breath of the Wild where if I don't have a shrine someplace, I just gotta walk like hundreds of miles just to get places. And I'm not shitting on Breath of the Wild. I love the game, but I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't want to say I'm complaining about Breath of the Wild's openness and like how far it is, because I love that about the game. But I hate in video games having to wait and walk far distances, because I'm a lazy fat bitch and I don't want to do that. Alright, time to get into the things I didn't necessarily like about this game. I didn't like not being able to find out what I'm supposed to do at times. I feel like because I was pretty a newer Zelda player when I first played this game, I feel like I was just lost at certain points where I hated how I had to go to a certain point and like search around and figure out what I'm supposed to do. Like, there was a specific point recently where when I played, I had to look up a guide just so I know that I had to go to a certain area so the owl will talk to me for the ancient ruins. Some of it can be a little bit annoying. That's a video game, right? Being able to find stuff out, that's the magic of video games. Being able to do a new world and what am I doing? What am I supposed to do? That's an awesome part of a video game, right? But I'm lazy and I'm fat, so I just want to be able to just figure out everything as soon as I possibly can. I like having direction, I suppose is the word I should use. I love having direction at certain points. I don't like a game that will continually draw a line for me to have to go do this, and tell me over and over again, hey, you have to do this. Because I love having an adventure, but I also would like to have some directions that would be more clear, I guess. I wish for a 100% completion for this game, there was a better reward. But then again, the more I reflected on this after I wrote it down in my notes, you do get the Collant Sword, or however you say it, I'm stupid, where it's pretty much like the Master Sword. You can shoot beams out of it when you have full health. And pretty much a lot of the dungeons I've been to since I've gotten it, I can three hit mini bosses. It's pretty good. I liked being able to get that sword. But the ending specifically, it's basically the same thing, you know, at the end, just with Marin being in the sky. I think, don't quote me on that. But simplicity is nice. I will say that. Simplicity is nice for that. I will preach to you day in, day out that simplicity needs to come back to video games. And originality needs to come back to video games. So this wasn't bad. I wouldn't even classify this as a complaint. I would say that this is just something I'm like, just a thought, like maybe I could have gotten something better, but you know, at the end of the day, I still get the dopamine rush of being able to say, hey, I did this. There wasn't much about this game that I did not like. I love this game. I said it before, I say it again. I love the bosses. I love being able to figure out the story and how it was literally a story of Lynx Awakening. The last thing I have to complain about this game is the bosses. Man, oh man, once you get the Collant Sword, it is nothing but a baby game, dude. Even when you have just the normal sword and then you get the damage upgrade using the red suit, it is just, oh, so easy to go through this game, fly through it. It's not like I don't feel like I'm facing a boss. When I started playing Breath of the Wild, I was scared. Not like baby, scared. No, I was scared more of a sense of, this guy's gonna shit on me. Of going to Ganon's castle, or Hyrule Castle, in Breath of the Wild, because I didn't watch any playthroughs, I didn't do nothing. I was just scared of going in there because of the anticipation of being able to know that I could go in there and face the boss. Whenever I entered into a boss, like the first Divine Beast, for example, I was genuinely scared because of what could possibly happen, because I don't like dying in video games, because I hate having to reset. I hate having to reset. Facing a boss should give me this deep, like, gut-wrenching feeling of, oh crap, this is gonna be hard. When I walk into Lynx Awakening's dungeons, I just fly through that shit, man. It's so easy. All I do is slash, boom, bop, boom. Oh, gotta throw a bomb over here to unlock a wall. I gotta shoot this thing, get the key, blah, blah, blah. Then I get to the boss, fucking slice him 3 times. Oh, there goes the fucking heart. I go walk out, get another instrument. It is just so easy. I think that's my only, like, the biggest complaint I have about this game is the easiness of this game. I wish it was a little bit harder, but I haven't played Master Mode. So, I guess I have to really hold that complaint back, because I guess Master Mode might be a little harder. Alright guys, so if you guys did enjoy my little rant and my, just comparing these 2 video games, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and please just share with your friends, and I'll talk to you guys later.